So Conor Benn and Ryan Garcia have been going back and forth on Twitter, and seemingly like both guys want that fight to take place. So I want to talk a bit about what I think would happen in a Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn fight at 147. I want to talk a bit about each guy's careers and, like I said, how I think that fight would go. I think, of course, Conor Benn is coming down from 160, and ultimately I do think that will be a big factor in this fight. If this fight gets made, I expect Conor Benn to be, a lot slower, stripped of muscle, probably less powerful, because that's what happens when you move down weight classes like that, right? The prime example in my head was Roy Jones Jr. At least Roy Jones Jr. was operating at world level though. Conor Benn fought Chris Eubank Jr., who's not elite, not world level, and he's going to be coming down to fight Ryan Garcia, who again is not elite or world level. So there is that. Whereas Roy Jones was fighting John Ruiz for a world championship, then coming back down and fighting Antonio Otava, who was undoubtedly world level at light heavyweight at that time. So the gap in opponent level that is there. Of course, that's definitely a factor. And Conor Benn's style is a lot of pressure. He closes the distance, he gets inside and he throws punches. It could very well be a lot for Ryan Garcia to handle. And ultimately, he could very well overwhelm Ryan Garcia. But I say all of that to say Ryan Garcia, for the most part, has been in there with a higher level of opponent than Conor Benn. He has been. And he's not always won. Right, he lost to Tank. He lost to Rolly Romero. And I think it's a no contest against Devin Haney, right? But Conor Benn's not fought anyone on that level. Even Chris Eubank Jr. is not on the level of those guys. Tank, multi-weight world champion. Devin Haney, multi-weight world champion. Rolly Romero, multi-weight world, somehow welterweight world champion. Somehow. Right, he sucks in my opinion, but somehow is world champion. Right? Conor Benn's really not fought anyone on that level. And experience does count for something, but also the experiencing losing is still experience, but there is a bit of a game plan out there, and Conor Benn should look to sort of replicate what Rolly Romero done to him, where he throw punches in bunches, he applied pressure, closed the distance, put combos on him, and Ryan Garcia just didn't have enough. I don't know if he was an off night or he was just too slow, couldn't really even get off any counters either, right? And Conor Benn is more athletic. Actually, I don't know. He's more explosive and he throws with bad intentions compared to Rolly Romero. But Rolly Romero is, quite athletic. That's probably one of his biggest strengths is his athleticism, right? But no doubt would be a war. I don't know if Ryan Garcia could take Conor Benn's shots though. Because Conor Benn's a guy who just dropped a middleweight against a guy in Ryan Garcia who got got put on his ass by Tank. I think he did get stopped, didn't he? I can't remember. That fight was a long time ago, but those guys got paid, but do you know what I mean? If you're getting stopped by a 135-pound fighter, I don't want to see what happens when you get put in a ring with a guy who just dropped a 160-pound fighter. There is that to consider. And there is a part of me that does think Conor Benn wins this fight, if that fight gets made. I can definitely see routes to victory for Conor Benn winning a 12-round decision there. Even maybe getting him out of there. Because again, he's going to be able to pin him down. Ryan Garcia is not particularly great in terms of his defensive movement. Conor Benn's going to be able to find him. And he's going to be able to find him pretty easily. Now, how comfortable Conor Benn stays in the pocket, that's completely up to Ryan Garcia. That depends on how much resistance Ryan Garcia shows against Conor Benn. When he's inside, does he throw that left hook? Does he throw an uppercut? Does he mix it up? Does he not let Conor Benn just get inside and get away with it? Because if he does, then it's going to be a long night or a short night for Ryan Garcia. But if he can show some resistance, I mean, Chris Eubank Jr. basically didn't move his feet at all in that fight. Hardly moved at all. If Ryan Garcia can at least move a bit, even then, I said, his defensive footwork movement is not his biggest strong suit. Him defensively is not his biggest strong suit. Ultimately, all Ryan Garcia really has, if we're being honest, is a left hook. And again, everyone that fights Ryan Garcia should know this, and you prepare for it. Whereas Conor Benn, his weakness is, I mean, he could be outboxed by an elite fighter, but when you've got a fighter like him who's specializes in closing the distance, it's going to be hard because you need to keep him off you for 12 rounds. Even if you start a fight, you can outbox him. You can keep pushing that jab out, but he's going to have you on the back foot. He's going to have you fainting. He's going to have you forcefully. He's going to have you throwing that jab. It's going to tire you out. And if Conor Benn's mastered this style, and if he can come back down to 147 and fight Chris Eubank Jr., how he fought in that Chris Eubank Jr. second fight, if he can fight that against the top level welterweights, then he's going to have a lot of success at welterweight, in my opinion. But if that fight does get made, I do want to pick Conor Benn. I do want to pick Conor Benn to beat Ryan Garcia, but We'll see. Let me know what you guys think of that fight. Do you think Ryan Garcia could beat Conor Benn? Or do you think this would be an easy win for Conor Benn? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.